All right. Well, this will be interesting, Kary, to talk through the unhackable guy's habits, who doesn't let his habits and routines ever get hacked, right?
I
100%.
no.
No? Okay. All right. Thanks for the honesty. But it is interesting. So, because along with just your normal habits, I know that that is now forefront in your mind on
Oh
saying, what
yeah.
am I going to not let hack my habits? So, I don't know if I ever have anybody on the show who doesn't have a morning routine, the ways that they start their days.
Yeah.
What's the unhackable routine, Gary?
I'll tell you what. Get up early, man. So I don't stay up late at night. And the reason why is because my brain starts fading, and the same task that could take me 5 minutes in the morning might take me 45 minutes at night.
Totally, totally.
And so I feel like, why am I even doing this? So as a result, what a lot of people do is they veg out, right? But veg is short for vegetable, and vegetable means that your brain waves are dead. And so the point is, you don't want to be brain dead. You want to be truly resting. And so Stephen Kotler calls it the gray zone, where you're not really working, you're not really resting, you're scrolling. And I don't like to do that. So what I do is I try to get to bed, around 9:30, 10, and then crazy, but I get up at, sometimes 4, sometimes 5, because the kids are still sleeping, Kelly's sleeping, and no one's bugging me. No one's texting me at 4. No one's, doing all that crazy stuff at 4. So I'm able to really get things done. And what I do is I do scripture and I do journaling, and then I love exercise. I really do. And I'll be straight up with these people. Listen, I battled depression my entire life. As a young teenager, I got into cutting, and if you Google me, you'll I'm very honest about that. And I was a perfectionist, and I was angry that I wasn't perfect, and a lot of self-hatred and this type of thing. But I got over self-injury in my young 20s, but man, I still know that God puts in us neurochemicals that when I do Peloton, so I got a Peloton in my house, and I also do some CrossFit-ish type stuff with some buddies, but I know that that gives me an edge, and it makes me feel alive, and I totally enjoy it. So that's kind of my morning routine. Then I come back, take the kids to school every day, because it gives my wife a break, and I chat with them, and then I pretty much crush it from 9 to 3. And I'm on Eastern time, and it's a school season, so I pick them up usually at 3, and then I'm pretty much offline as much as possible till about 8. And then right around 8, I kind of catch up on email, check things, and then hang out with my wife, and then head to bed.
Yeah, I saw, speaking of your Peloton, did I see you did a 100-mile bike ride recently?
Oh yeah, that was outdoor.
Yeah.
I do cycling. I mean, I joked about it being an old man sport, but I'll tell you what, the knees can't handle running, and I love riding fast, and I love doing road bikes.
What about on so that's kind of the daily schedule. What about on the professional side of, I don't know if this is fair to ask of habits, but things, it isn't in a sense a habit of the things that you do to protect your time during the day. Or maybe I could even ask the things that
Yeah.
you don't do, the things you do and don't do to protect your time, going back to our first show together, episode 833, of being unhackable, because that takes, I mean, that is a habit. To not be the habit, the easy habit to fall into is to be hacked. So to
Yes.
not be, what are some intentional things that you do outside of the norm?
Yeah. So I would say,
Contrary to the norm, probably.
contrary to norm, I would say I don't answer the phone. I mean, I look at it, and if the phone's ringing, it kind of, so I screen calls, obviously, and I have an audiobook all the time. So when I'm driving, dropping off the kids from school or picking them up, I'm constantly, that's how I read now, is audiobooks, and it's been that way for a while. I don't mind a physical book once in a while, but I do like to listen. And people say, well, how do you retain? Well, there's a really easy way. You create a note on your phone. You just press and hold and speak notes. And so I do a lot of my book research that way, believe it or not, where I'm listening to other books and filling my mind. But other than that, I don't say yes to any appointment without a purpose. Just like most people, hey, can I pick your brain? Hey, can we chat? Hey, I know somebody who knows you. And I don't do that. I mean, it sounds weird, but James Allen said, until thought is linked with purpose, there is no intelligent accomplishment. So everything has an intention. And people might say, wow, that sounds really rigid. It's actually freeing. You know, Kevin, you're married, I'm married. Before you knew the right one, every woman was a potential. And so that actually hacks your brain. Is she the
Mm-hmm.
one? Is she the one? Is she the one? Most people approach their email inbox or their agenda that way. Is this an option? Is this an option? So no email opt-in required, but if you go to karyoberbrunner.com/opus, OPUS, it's the Latin word for masterpiece. It's my entire life opus. I'm talking about habits. I'm talking about commitments, actions. And by having a filter, it actually already pre-decides everything else as a no. So most people have a default in life that is yes, unless I don't want to do it. My default is no, because I've already said what my yes is. And if it resonates or aligns with that, then it's an easy yes. If not, it's an
Yeah.
automatic no.
Yeah. That one continues to stick out to me. There's so many good things, and the pain, sacrifice of having to
Yes.
say no to so many good things to retain the great. I guess it's always prominent because it's ever evolving. I can't say this is what it is. Here's a list, end of story, because next week this changes, this work changes in business, this kid changes,
Yes.
this lifestyle aspect changes. So it's constantly evolving, and I find myself having to come back and going, okay, time to audit again. We've
Yes.
said yes to a
Yeah.
lot of good things, and we're toast. We have no room for the great.
Absolutely. And I'm married to a wonderful woman who is actually rest. I mean, she is rest. She does like the house. And so otherwise I'd be out slaying dragons all day, you know, and she's got her own counseling practice. I mean, she crushes it too, but having that family that does enjoy the home really makes me rest. In fact, that's the area where I get hacked. The area where I get hacked is rest, because I have such a desire to love what I do what I love, that it can uh, bleed into too much. And one of the things about flow, which is in the book Unhackable, is that recovery is actually one of the four steps of flow. If you don't recover, this is why Olympic athletes, that's their biggest struggle. It's not training, it's overtraining. And so I think we are corporate athletes. That's not my own term, but a lot of us are corporate athletes. And just like an athlete needs rest, just like God said rest on the seventh day, we need to rest too.
Yeah, amen. When you look at this, is always a curious question, inquiry for me. When you look at these primary, if we look at the Ziglar wheel of life, these primary areas of the physical and
Mm-hmm.
relationships and mental, financial, spiritual, career, personal, I usually find that most folks have some primary ones, some anchoring ones. So, on a given day, and Kary, you are not allowed to do all your great habits. You get to pick one, three, whatever, just the top ones. What are the ones that you would say, man, these are kind of the primary anchors for me? If I can't do it all, if I'm rushed, these are the ones I'm not going to let go of. If at all possible, I'm going to do these few habits.
That's good. That's really good. Well, I'll tell you what, financial, I'll let go, because man, I hate numbers.
Well,
I,
well, I'm in that club with you.
there you go. I'm all about life change. I have team members, part of my team, that are the numbers people, that are the
Yeah.
CFO, the bookkeepers. So financial, I'm doing great, but I don't even want to wait. That'd be a spoke in the wheel that is very small.
Well, you
Uh,
dealt going back to the list. Actually, you shared it in the first show of what was your three columns? It was do it, delete it
Oh
or
yeah.
delegate it.
Yep. Yep. Do it, delegate, or dump.
So
Yep.
you're getting it
Yep.
done
And
by
delegate.
paying some. Yeah, me
Yes.
too. Me too. Thank God for CPAs.
Absolutely. And then it might sound weird, but friends, I'm not, I mean, I work out with my buddies, but I don't have these massive friendships. Like your dad is my friend. And yet I'm not in his day every day. I'm not in his week every week. But I do have some deep friendships that are they're just not always, some people are going out every day with their friends or every weekend or something. I would say that's not a huge area, but family is. And then a lot of these I combine. So when I'm doing physical, I'm also listening to an audiobook. You
Yeah.
see? So I think that's really a way to be unhackable is say which ones can you blend, or can you listen to scripture or worship music while you're working out? So I think you can get real optimized in some of these.
Yeah, I just love to hear the differences in folks. So you're obviously you talk about audio. I listen to music in the background all day long because
Yes.
but I'm not really listening to it. I don't listen to audiobooks at all because I have the audio, my audio
Ear.
input abilities are just, they're just not that good.
Yeah.
I got to read. So
Yeah.
I almost 100% require for these, for books, it's a hard copy in my
Yes.
hand. I dog ear it. I write it down. That's what works for me. But it's
That's
interesting to
awesome.
hear what you do auditorily, that you do your book. I can't fathom the ability, the cognitive ability
Yeah.
to do that is totally beyond me. It's amazing.
But I'll tell you what, you put a TV on in a room, I'm absolutely hacked because
Wow.
my brain starts saying, what is the plot? What is the story? But like you, man, I do music, but I never do an audiobook while I'm doing something else cognitive. So again,
Right.
a lot of studies show that driving is a subconscious process. I mean, how many of us have had a conversation and we're not even paying attention, but we're driving? So anything that is non-cognitive, I can do
Yeah.
the auditory. But yeah, don't give me write an email while you listen to an audiobook. No, no way.
How about on the nutrition side? I know you're a health-minded
Yeah.
guy. Any specific,
Oh yeah.
genre of diet that you adhere to?
Oh yeah. I listen, I'm big into because I'll be straight up, man. I'm a food addict. So what does that mean? That means I'm eating healthy, but I was eating all the time. So a few years ago, I was at a certain weight where most people would be like, "Oh man, you look great, you're skinny and all that stuff." But the reality was is that the business, I would just get like dried mangoes, man, eat like a pound of them, or just not even thinking. You're not even thinking. You're just feeding yourself compulsively. And so what I did is I got into a serious um, no carbs,
Yeah.
low carbs, no sugar, low sugar, water with lemon. And it might sound like, "Psh, dude, what the heck?" But it's actually it made me feel so much more alive. I lost a ton of weight, and it when you're doing the right thing, nutrition, hydration, sleep, this type of thing, you can be a high performer. But if you are fueling your body incorrectly, you're going to suffer. Your performance is going to suffer. So I'm big into nutrition. That thing doesn't go. I would say the only thing that really would go, again, not friends like go friends, but I think friends and financial are just things that I don't like spend a ton of time on.
Well, and you talked about your home life being, it sounds like rich enough that it fulfills a lot of that. And you do have, I mean, yeah, I saw you were with people
Oh
a
yeah, I
lot.
I hang with people, but I'm an introvert, and so I don't have to like be at it. And so I know some people really struggled with COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, they really struggled with COVID. If I'm on Zoom with you, I'm connecting, and that's awesome. I just came from a conference that I did called the Igniting Souls Conference. I mean, lots of great people all day long, every day. But actually, afterwards, I feel a little bit, tired. Like that was intense.
Well, and I love being aware of that. My wife would go to something like that and she would be energized. She is fuller, she is charged, and I had got great value out of it. I am not charged.
That's right. That's right.
I need
You're
to,
like, let me get in nature or something.
yeah, I need
Yeah.
to recharge. No, but it's interesting because if you look on, and anybody could do this, go to, find Kary Oberbrunner, put it in, well, just type it in and you'll find him on
Yeah.
all the social media and stuff. And you are with people, you are
Always
communing
around
with
people. Yeah.
people, yeah, at events through Zoom. And we're going to end up close to 2 hours of looking at each other and
Oh yeah.
talking today.
Yeah.
And
I love people. It's just the friendship, meaning that, you got your best buddies and you hang out every night or every week. I just, your dad's a great dude. I just have these key people that I are so rich, but it's once in a while.
yeah, understood. So on the unhackable aspect of your life, when we look at the rigmarole of the day. I mean, you're online, you're on a computer, you're writing, you're doing your research. Maybe part of your, oh, well, you've got business, sizable business on
Oh
social
yeah.
media, utilizing that. How do you, we talked about this again in the first show, but we didn't get any details. So you
Yeah.
personally, Kary, what do you do to budget that time? And it's hard to even encompass. You can get hacked in so many directions.
Oh, I get you. I
How
got
do
an
you,
answer.
how do you budget? Okay.
Uh, Listen, our most of our community does hang out on Facebook. We're called the Igniting Souls Tribe. And there was a time, Kevin, where I had not raised up the leadership around me, where I literally felt at all times, I need to be seeing what's going on because someone may have a need, a question, someone may have posted something that's off brand, and we need to take it down. And so I remember going one time a few years ago with, finally putting the technology away on a Sunday and going to go do a train tour with my family. And I remember just feeling like I can't even go on a train ride for a few hours because I'm so tied to the business. And it was a big awareness, like something needs to change, man. And it was training up leaders. It was saying, you know what, we call them tribe community leaders, but now I can literally be offline and not so tied to it. But it took training up leaders, and like anything, your dad or Zig says about leadership, but you need to raise up leaders, and in the beginning it's going to take more time. I mean, that's the trade-off. I'll just do it myself, it's easier. No, you need to delegate and elevate, and that's a EOS term, and I love it.
Personal is always one of interest to me, Kary. I mean, you talked about, you said you did a 100-mile bike ride lately and you
Yeah.
do, you work out with some guys, but what are the things, I'm going to put it into whatever resonates with you, the things that you do outside of the work, a hobby,
Yeah.
adventure, experience, even self-care, whichever resonates, but the things that you do just
Yeah.
for you, make you the best, fullest Kary you can be.
Well, I'll tell you what, I really got into cycling, and the Tour de France was just a few months ago. And I got some friends who said, this is crazy, but let's do the Tour de France on the Peloton. And so,
Oh,
not that we did the full length, but we did 21 days out of 23 days.
oh,
And
nice.
yeah, some of them were real, 90 minutes, and we got intense. We got spreadsheets and all for a yellow jersey. But I loved it, man. And I pushed hard. I actually ended up winning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which was
Oh,
cool, but I'm ultra competitive, and I just feel that the reason why I like cycling is because you can't look at your phone, especially if you're on the road. Otherwise, you'll crash. And so it is actually that forced offline process
yeah.
where you might be listening to an audiobook or something like that, but you're not checking pings, notifications, texts. You feel probably like you with your mountain bike. I mean, you are literally detached, and that's kind of my escape. Love watching my daughter and son play basketball, so that's fun too. My wife and I really get into it, but I'm one of these people that I love work, and probably like I said, that's my one kryptonite is I love it too much. So that's where I got to watch it is the forced recovery.
Yeah, understood. And just good to hear the behind this. Actually, no, I got one more. I got one more
Go
question,
for it,
and
man. Any
This
question.
is interesting too, and it just occurred to me because you talked about the early issues with depression and
Yes.
cutting, and you don't say it was addictive self harm.
Oh yeah.
But if we take that, and I I'm a little sensitive to that term of an addictive personality because I don't
Sure.
know that anyone doesn't have an addictive
Sure.
personality, but some of us are more prone to
Oh yeah.
fall to that. And
Yeah.
so, but with that, in trying to control that, which I would say that I am prone to that, so I have to control that. I'm sometimes curious on any specific. What are your vices, your indulgences, Kary?
I like dark chocolate.
All right, we got to
So
hang out more.
so
Good.
it's yeah, so I
Yeah.
like dark chocolate.
Here, I got something. I'll show you something. This is
Show
my,
me. Show
this was
me.
my. Okay, hold on. This is my. Here's my current. Let me put my headphones back in. But
Okay.
today, this is what keeps me from other worse indulgences. Dark chocolate covered almonds, right
Oh
there.
my gosh, man, we would hang out
I
together.
just right now those just do it for me. And
Oh yeah.
I probably do too many, but then I gotta say, look, it's dark chocolate. There's hardly any sugar. And it's almonds.
That's right.
It could be worse.
It that I love I love what you're talking about, the dark chocolate almonds. Man, I used to really like the kombucha, like really dig that stuff, but I kind of stayed away from it now with all the sugar. But
Yeah.
man, I love life. Every day to me is a gift. I honestly try to live every day like it's my last, and I have been doing that for a lot of years. So it's a full life, and it's probably not super sexy and stuff, but I'm not traveling all over the world, but I really love it. And I didn't always love it. For those that don't know, if you Google me, I used to be a pastor for 12 years. Loved parts of it. But as an entrepreneur, man, I felt really boxed in. And the entrepreneurial life is so rewarding. Entrepreneur, from my studies, means bearer of risk. And that's what I feel like life is. I feel like life is a risk. And man, I'm in my sweet spot. So it's been a real blast.
And I'm going to guess that, like so many people that my dad has attested to over the years that he has worked alongside,
Yes.
that you are feeling you impact people more for your faith in doing what you do now than as a pastor.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was just in front of hundreds of people at my conference, and you know, we shared scripture and we shared about Christ, and I don't push it on anybody. But the cool thing is, Kevin, I think that if you lead with value, then people are open.
Yeah.
I don't lead with my faith anymore, which is what I did when I was a pastor. Now I lead with value, and then they say, Psh, I got to listen to this guy. What's he about? And then the doors open. So it is, man. I feel truly alive in the business world, but I didn't grow up like that. I grew up as a pastor's kid, thinking it was wrong to be in business or something.
Yeah.
So I do love the Zig Ziglar, just legacy and all that he stood for.
Well, leading with value, man, that may be the title of this show because you have done that in the coming up on 2 hours we've been together. You're doing it through your book. You're doing it through all you do. And it's interesting. Yeah, it's the first time we've come together because I've known of you. We've hung out a little bit over
Sure.
the years, but yeah, testimony from my dad and it's such a big circle of friends that it's great to spend the one-on-one time. And
Absolutely.
thanks for here giving us a behind the scenes to see what it is you do to keep yourself unhackable. Love the message and appreciate you greatly, Kary.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kevin.